Alright, many of you probably never made a hay infusion or never heard of it, what it is as well. And no surprise, when I was in high school, I actually did a project as my senior project in high school where I looked at the different organisms that occur over time in a hay infusion. So I've been curious about microscopy for a long time, and I just want to show you how simple it is to grow your own microbes and your own protozoans to look under the microscope. And it's really amazing how much variety you get. The only thing that's really simple is you need water and a jar or a cup or anything with a lid, and you need some dried organic material. They could be herbs, it could be dried tea. I haven't tried it with black tea, or just something like Spanish moss, we in Florida, dried leaves, and something else. And basically what happens is that protozoans, they can form spores, and they're basically resistant stages of their lives where when it's dry or hot, they don't get killed. So on dried hay or Spanish moss, there's plenty of different spores or resistant forms of these organisms that once they're back in water, they will come back to life. So it's really pretty fascinating. With herbs and with tea, with purchased things, you have to be careful because sometimes herbs and plant material is actually irradiated, so it would kill the spores. It could kill the spores. Again, how to do it? You just fill up some water. You don't need a lot at all. I take the larger one here for my Spanish moss, and I just put a mixture of things together, a couple of old dried leaves and other moss I found outside, and then I'll put up a little bit of a bark with some lichen as well, just to give it a little bit of diversity. And then you just put it in under the water, and then you put a lid on it, but don't tighten it much, because if it becomes anaerobic, if there's not enough oxygen in it, it can develop, anaerobic bacteria can develop, and they smell really bad. So leave it open and then keep it sitting around. And for the other one, I'm gonna use dried jasmine and see what I can get on there. I haven't tried this before, but we'll see. We've got a couple of days, and you will see how it changes a little bit. It will become a little bit cloudy. Sometimes it smells a little bit, but usually it's not a big deal. You can see a film on top, and that's often where you can find amoebas. And again, make sure when you look at things under the microscope, make sure it's dirty and has plant material in it, because all these protozoans, all these microbes, all these microorganisms, they feed on the plant material. So when you do a wet mount, make sure you get the parts that's mucky and dirty and brown. All right. It's very, very simple, but you will be amazed what you can see in 1 or 2 weeks in your hay infusion. They're called paramecium, and they're single-celled organisms, and you'll definitely find them in your hay infusion, if not in your pond water. And you can see lots of different structures with this. They're covered with cilia all over their body, and you can see that's how they move and that's how they navigate. Another organism commonly found in a hay infusion is amoeba, and they're usually on top in a sort of like a little bit slimy layer. They're a little bit hard and tricky to see because they don't move much, and they have pseudopods and just move around. And you may find some of them that you're familiar with, Naegleria fowleri, which is the amoeba that liquefies your brain. It goes through your nose and liquefies your brain. They're also really ferocious. Besides liquefying brains, they're really good hunters, and you can see there's one amoeba coming, and it's trying to eat the little organism. And this is a close-up, and I was watching this for probably about 30 minutes, but it was just incredible how it was engulfing the little ciliates and was just putting it into an endosome, and then probably injecting some enzymes to digest it and eat it. So again, amoebas are really fascinating. They're single-cellular organisms, and you can see they just move with their pseudopods any direction where there's food and where they can live and where they're protected. So careful with the amoebas, especially in Florida. Don't swim in mucky water. There's basically no cure for Naegleria fowleri, for brain-eating amoeba, and I would stay out of the water. But anyway, that's your hay infusion. Lots of interesting critters to see. And again, the amoebas, a little bit harder to see, you have to be really patient, but they're absolutely worthwhile when you get to see them on their journey.